What's up, old school homies? Let's talk about how collectible are Squier guitars. I've thought about this myself quite a bit, and being a Squier collector, sometimes you start saying, well, is this guitar actually more common? Is it even collectible? Because in order for stuff to be collectible, it sort of needs to be a little bit less common. Not necessarily. Here's my levels of it. Discontinued would be the first one. Like, maybe something came out and you can't get it anymore, so it's a discontinued model. That kind of bugs sometimes because they'll discontinue stuff that's good and you'll want it and you'll know it's available, but it just isn't currently on the market. You have to find it on the used market. So discontinued is sort of collectible, like that one I got the other day, the Showmaster. Those are collectible to some people, but at this point it's not vintage, so it's basically just discontinued, which does matter. Trying to buy something that's not for sale, that's your first part of it kind of being collectible. Now, vintage, that typically refers to 20, 25 years old at least. I wouldn't call anything vintage under 20 years old, but yeah, it's okay. After 20 years, you could probably call something vintage. It's getting old. I think guitars that are vintage are typically more 30 years old. Like, it's not super hard to find a 30-year-old guitar. 40 and 50-year-old, yeah, it's going to get harder, but trying to find something vintage, start looking for stuff that's at least 20 years old. Now, vintage means a whole other thing for is it collectible? The wood looks different. People like the colors that the maple turns sort of more of an orange color. It could turn a lot of colors, but people like seeing the paint get old and crackle off the guitar, and you'd be surprised like what's authentic and what is just damage. And then there's like a blurred line of, oh well, this is vintage. No, it's old and broken and put back together. A lot of times I don't buy shit like that. I have strict rules of like not buying broken shit that was fixed. It's really not original at that point. I mean, I'll fix broken shit and I'll play it, but I'm not going to try to pump it up to someone else. This is just some pristine shit. It's really not. And there's exceptions to the rule. A lot of stuff, you're going to find it. You're going to be able to fix it, like a broken nut. That's something that's replaceable. Broken tuners, broken bridge, broken pickups, broken knobs. Pretty much anything that's broken. But you break the neck or the body and then glue it back together, you ain't on my side with that. Like, that's just not vintage anymore. And people are really pumping a lot of that shit. You'll see it. The earlier and earlier the guitars go, look out for it more. Okay? Not only do they break more because there's more time, but people will dig up some trash and build it back together and say, hey, this is something pretty cool. And don't buy anything glued back together, dude. It's just not right. Even the guitar factories are breaking the headstocks off of guitars and gluing them back together and then selling them to you. Don't make me get into it.